Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, who arrived in New Delhi on Monday on a two-day visit to India, will meet President Draupadi Murmu and hold talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Extending a rare gesture of hospitality, Prime Minister Modi went to the airport to receive the Emir of Qatar, who arrived in Delhi in the evening. Both Prime Minister Modi and Emir are expected to discuss India-Qatar ties related to trade, investment, energy and technology at their meeting. The Emir, who is on his second state visit to India after March 2015, will be accorded a ceremonial welcome at the forecourts of Rashtrapati Bhavan. India and Qatar have deep-rooted historical ties of friendship, trust and mutual respect. In the recent years, the ties between the two countries, including in the areas of trade, investment, energy, technology, culture and people-to-people relations, have continued to strengthen. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, hours after his arrival in Delhi and said he is confident that the visiting leader's talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday will deepen close bonds of friendship. The Union Minister also shared some photographs of his meeting with the Emir of Qatar on social media platform X, praising the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani's guidance on advancing cooperation in many domains. All right, DD India correspondent Jessica Taneja joins us from New Delhi. Jessica, good morning. We've told about the arrival of the visiting dignitary to India and how he was received by the Prime Minister in a rare gesture of hospitality. Get us more, how do we expect the talks to unfold? The visiting dignitary, the Emir of Qatar, will be holding talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He will also be meeting President Draupadi Murmu. Get us more, what does the day hold for him today?
Well, that's correct. The welcome for the Emir of Qatar, the plan has pretty much been laid out by you in that report earlier, Preeti. He will be accorded a ceremonial welcome in New Delhi. And you saw the gesture of the Prime Minister receiving them at the airport. Certainly goes on to show that how important Qatar is, especially when it comes to India's growing relationship with countries in West Asia, not just with the traditional allies of United Arab Emirates, and of course to an extent Saudi Arabia as well, but now Qatar. We've seen quite a lot of engagements in the last 1 year. If you recall, the Prime Minister had visited Qatar in February 2024, and that was right after 8 naval officers were released by Qatar. Another, a good diplomatic effort made on the part of India to release its nationals and ensure their safety back home. So of course, a lot of the relationship between the two has been growing beyond the sectors of energy, which we've seen the cooperation in the recent past. If you know, Qatar is an important partner when it comes to India's LPG and LNG supply. Nearly 40% of the imports come from Qatar. So it's an important partner when it comes to energy requirements of India. But the trade between the two has been growing steadily. It was 18.5 billion approximately last year, with India's exports also growing to an extent when it comes to certain sectors. And with the imports that we're witnessing from Qatar, dominantly energy imports, we will see more diversification as well. And in the recent past, there have been quite a lot of exchanges and joint task forces to see on how trade and investment needs to be enhanced between the two countries. So a lot has been done in terms of ensuring a relationship with Qatar is on a level that is enhanced and moving forward, especially when we also know that Qatar is crucial to mediations in the efforts that are made to ensure a ceasefire deal for Gaza. So, of course, a key player there as well. And India's continued engagement goes on to show that this relationship and the momentum would continue in the coming future.
All right, Jessica, you've told us about how the relationship is important and how it has evolved over the years. But then we've told our viewers that trade, energy and other areas would be taken up when the leaders of both the countries meet today for discussions. Get us more as to what is the scope of further strengthening the relationship and, where does the relationship particularly stand when we talk of trade and how that is to be taken forward?
As I mentioned to you a short while ago, the trade between the two countries has almost reached $18 billion. And of course, India's exports are nearly growing each year. And Qatar being an important destination, of course, after South Korea and China, and as well as the United Arab Emirates, as we've seen trade grow in the recent past, especially when it comes to crucial components such as steel, aluminium, and even rice. So, of course, see an increase and a rise in exports there, but also talking about other initiatives that the two leaders could take up. For example, financial tech, India's big push in the digital sector, talking about artificial intelligence as well. There are various sectors of cooperation that could see enhancements. So we'll wait for those readouts throughout the day as to what the two leaders discuss. But what we do understand is that the two countries have set up joint task forces in the recent past, especially in the last 1 year. There have been foreign office consultations as well, almost 5 in so time that the two leaders have set up. So in terms of trade and diversifying their relationship beyond the energy sectors, I was just pointing out earlier, the two leaders could see momentum and discussions in those key areas as well, Preeti.
All right, Jessica, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those details. So that was our correspondent Jessica Tanejo telling us what is to be expected when the visiting dignitary, the Emir of Qatar, meets the Indian leadership today. We'll keep you updated.